Top 10 Most Expensive Things Owned by Donald Trump. In today's video, Nouveau Riche will be going over 10 crazy things Donald Trump spends his billions on. Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States of America, is one of the richest presidents the country has ever seen. Currently worth over $3 billion, he can afford almost anything he wants in the world and shows no reservations in showcasing his wealth. There is only one thing that Trump owns that an average person can get his hands on: cheap fast food. He simply loves it. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to Nouveau Riche and click the bell icon to get updates on more enthralling videos. Let's start with number 10. 10. Trump Winery. In 2011, Trump purchased Charlottesville, Virginia's Cluj Estate Winery and Vineyard, which was at risk of foreclosure. He ultimately paid just over $3.5 million for the estate through methods one could describe as both creative and shady. According to Bank of America, who had paid $16 million for the property's mansion at a foreclosure auction, Trump first purchased acres of land around the estate and then arranged for it to intentionally look closed off. This move, alleges Bank of America, made other potential buyers shy away from making an offer as they thought the property was either wrecked beyond repair or exclusively earth by shrub. Thus, without any other options, the bank accepted Trump's offer. Whatever you think of this method, it was worth it, as the former Cluj winery is currently valued at over $25 million since renaming it after, who else? Himself. 9. Golf clubs. Can you guess how many golf courses Trump owns? 17. As he has made evident on several occasions, Donald Trump loves the game of golf and has been investing in it since 1999, when he purchased his first club. 21 years down the lane, the president owns 17 golf courses around the world. Many of these clubs were the properties that he snatched up after the Great Recession of 2008. But this did not stop the ambitious billionaires to spend hundreds of millions of dollars buying and renovating all these properties, turning them into worthy showcase pieces of his brand, as well as his favorite pastime. The Trump National Golf Club in Los Angeles, for example, was purchased by Donald Trump for $27 million after a landslide sunk the course's 18th hole and forced the club into bankruptcy. The real estate icon saw this as an opportunity and spent over $260 million after acquiring the club to update its standards. This golf course stands today as the single most expensive golf course in history. 8. $100 million private airplane. What if Donald Trump gets bored with his cars and the luxurious helicopters? Thankfully, he has catered to that threat by purchasing a $100 million private jet for himself. His personal Boeing 757 is amongst the most valuable and powerful private planes to exist on the surface of the Earth. The 8th most expensive plane in the world, also known as Trump Force One, features a lounge, a dining room, a guest room, 24-karat gold-plated washroom sink, and a master bedroom for the billionaire Trump himself. Almost everything on the jet is made out of pure gold, and the plane itself is a technical wonder with a state-of-the-art computerized glass cockpit. The jet is driven by 2 Rolls-Royce engines that can propel the Trump Force One to speeds towering 500 miles per hour. No wonder Trump was so hesitant to choose Air Force One after taking up the presidency over his beloved jet. 7. GOAT, a tribute to Muhammad Ali. Not everything that Trump owns is to showcase his wealth. Some of his possessions are a reflection of his sentiments as well. One such depiction is his procurement of the limited edition of GOAT, a tribute to Muhammad Ali, for $15,000. Trump has always openly expressed his praise and affection for the legendary boxer, both as a professional and as a human being. Coming from Donald Trump, you don't see that happen very often. 6. 3 helicopters. I know a lot of rich people around the world own helicopters. Trump, meanwhile, owns 3. One of these, however, isn't technically his property. Marine One, the official White House helicopter, is the only chopper Trump is allowed to travel in during the tenure of his presidency. In 2011, he bought a used Sikorsky S-76 copter for $7 million, but the ride wasn't Trumpy enough for Donald Trump. It may come as no surprise to you, therefore, that Mr. Trump spent an extra $750,000 so that the famous New York aircraft designer Eric Roth could make the chopper according to Mr. Trump's desires. The luxury helicopter is now Trump's favorite chopper, with the interior covered purely in gold, just the way Trump likes it. 5. Gold-plated motorcycle. Imagine the President of the United States of America riding on a bike in the streets of New York City. It would indeed be a historic sight. Trump, however, does not bike. This doesn't mean that he can't own a bike now, does it? In 2012, Trump visited the sets of the American Chopper, and the show's star agreed to customize a motorcycle covered in pure gold for the future president. After the project was completed, Trump showcased his possession on national television to reiterate his richness to the general public. 4. Everything is gold. A video on Donald Trump is never complete without mentioning his sheer love for gold. From gold-rimmed cups and plates to gold-plated sinks, Trump's world is only slightly less covered in gold than that of King Midas. The furniture, blankets, and even the curtains at his home and jets are covered in gold. His love for gold is unprecedented to such an extent that even while conducting out the affairs of state in his domain as the president, he has replaced the curtains of the Oval Office to be gold-rimmed. As if that's not enough, Donald Trump wants the shiny metal to be the new mode of currency in the United States as it was in 1973. He may or may not succeed in this, but one thing is for sure, the billionaire president values gold way more than the paper currency. 3. Cars. Mr. Trump has an exquisite car collection, and certainly one of the most impressive around. He prefers the quality of cars over quantity, which means that he does not own all the luxury cars that exist. He still owns some of the best, though. He owns a 2003 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, which was worth $445,000 upon its release. Trump is also the holder of the 1997 Lamborghini Diablo VT, a Mercedes Maybach S600, a Tesla Roadster, and a 2016 Cadillac Escalade. There's more. Trump also keeps a 2015 Rolls-Royce Phantom, which cost him $500,000. If you haven't figured it out now, money is not an issue for the current president of the United States. His love for the cars expands to the racing track, as he also owns the 2011 Chevrolet Camaro Indianapolis 500 pace car, which he was supposed to drive in the 2011 Indy 500 until a clash of schedules walled his participation. Trump does not only own present-day luxurious and racing cars. Instead, his garage also has a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud replica. This car had an interesting story attached to it. It is said that Donald Trump initially purchased it as his first ever car and loved it so much that he paid Rolls-Royce to make him a replica of the model, which now stands in his extensive garage. 2. Real estate. A guru in the domain of real estate, Donald Trump has been active in the industry since the 1960s, an industry that made him a billionaire. Trump does not restrict his investments to the United States and broadens his portfolio by purchasing properties across the globe, including countries such as Canada, India, Philippines, South Korea, Turkey, and Uruguay. And now it's time for the most prized possession owned by Donald Trump. 1. Trump Tower. You surely must have heard of the famous Trump Tower, an embodiment of the wealth of Donald Trump. In 1995, Trump purchased a 71-story building at 40 Wall Street in New York City, renaming it as the Trump Tower. Trump purchased the lease in 1995 for $10 million for the building that's now worth over $1 billion, making it Trump's most valuable asset. So guys, this was our list of the top 10 things Donald Trump spends his millions on. Which one fascinated you the most? What would you spend your money on if you became crazy rich overnight? Let us know in the comments section, and stay tuned to Nouveau Riche for more fascinating and amazing stories that we have in store for you. See you in the next video.